Hinduism is the only major world religion not to trace its origin back to the divine revelations or teachings of a single male founder. The Vedas, the texts which form the foundation of Hinduism, date back about 3,500–4,000 years, and they're based on the divine revelations of a group of sages, both men and women. These sages, through deep meditation in the heart, had the mystical experience of the divine presence, one all-pervading divine reality in their own hearts and pervading the whole universe. And this is the goal of all Hindu spiritual practice, to live in experiential awareness of our sacred self within a sacred universe, and to manifest that sacred self in every aspect of our lives. For us, this is the purpose of human existence, and we're reborn again and again until we attain it. There is no social promotion in Hinduism, but there's no permanent failure. Hinduism is not an institutionalized religion, and it doesn't have a divinely revealed law. From the time of the Vedic sages, its spiritual teachings have been primarily transmitted verbally from teacher to student. It has accumulated, obviously, in its time, a vast array of scriptures and spiritual practices, and each person's method of spiritual practice depends on many factors. So this is why in our faith the guru is of great importance, because the guru or spiritual teacher chooses the mantra, helps choose the aspect of God that a person will focus on, and directs the disciples' individual methods of prayer, ritual, and meditation. Hindu spiritual practice is very individualistic and regarded as something quite personal and in many ways private. There's virtually no communal Hindu spiritual practices. Hinduism does have temples, but it's in the home and in the ashram that most spiritual practice is done. Although we believe that the divine presence is all-pervading and always there, where it's invoked and worshipped, it becomes especially manifest. Every Hindu home has a shrine area, very often a special room for daily spiritual practice. In Hinduism, early rising is encouraged, and the daily practice begins from the moment you wake up. We are encouraged to remember God at that moment and to remember what the purpose of human life is. Also to resolve that this day you will best to do your spiritual practice in all the areas of your life. So your presence will be a blessing to yourself, your family, and all those that you come into contact with. After showering and putting on clean clothes, we enter the shrine room, bow down to the deities on the shrine, light the candles, offer incense, and sit for our morning practices. In Hinduism, there are 4 daily practices. The first is prayer, the repetition of devotional hymns or Sanskrit chants. But one aspect of prayer that is particularly emphasized is japa, the repetition of a mantra. Religious life begins formally when the guru gives the spiritual aspirant diksha, a ritual when he or she formally accepts the disciples and gives them a mantra, a short prayer formula that focuses on a name of God. And very often at this time, they are also told to do it so many times a day. The second daily practice is meditation. Most of the time, our minds are visually or verbally wandering. We're planning how to redecorate our home or mentally going through our to-do lists. During meditation, we focus on a visual image of the divine accompanied by the repetition of the mantra. And in this way, the whole mind is focused on God. The third daily practice is ritual worship. In the home, this can be done by men or women, anyone who's had Diksha, the first initiation. In the home, it's usually done more simply. Incense, flowers, fruit, sweets are offered daily to the deity. But in the ashram, it's done usually by monks and nuns. And during this ritual practice, the Divine Presence is invoked and worshipped in the area of worship, in the mantras, in the worship vessels, in the heart of the worshipper, and in the image of the deity. In every Hindu home, everything, in a Hindu home, everything is offered to God first. The baby when it comes home from hospital, the first solid food that it will eat, and the first letters of the alphabet that the children write. In Hinduism also, there is a particular focus on food. Preparation of food is regarded as a very important spiritual service. From the Hindu mind, you are what you eat, not just in the sense of being healthy, but it also is believed to have a spiritual effect and sense. Food should be regarded pure. For food to be pure, obviously it's clean and fresh. No living being should have had to suffer to supply this food. But we also believe that the quality of the character of the person who prepared the food, if it was done with love or with anger, if their mind was kept on God, perhaps repeating the mantra, we believe that on a subtle level, these qualities are transmuted to those who eat the food and has an effect on their spiritual development. In a Hindu home, food is not tasted or smelt deliberately. It's very aromatic, usually, Indian food, while it's cooking, and then it's offered to God before it's eaten. And the fourth daily practice is scriptural study. Probably the greatest challenge, and probably not just ourselves in this, is to maintain our spiritual attitudes and practice during the distractions and stresses of everyday living. It's easy to be holy when we sit quietly at our shrine in the morning, but when we get into the car and we have one of those moments on the freeway, he is a child of God as I am a child of God, is probably not the first thought that comes to our mind. Just as we go to the gym, maybe for an hour, and hope that the fitness will last us through the whole day, our concentrated morning spiritual practice also is a way of influencing our whole day. Our practice of japam, of repetition of the name of God, is not limited to prayer times. We're encouraged to mentally repeat the mantra as much as possible during the lull times in our day, if we're waiting in a queue at the supermarket or we're stuck in a traffic jam, or when difficult times, when we may be inclined to become impatient or angry, we're taught to take a minute and mentally repeat the mantra. This helps to bring back the peaceful mood of our morning practice, enables us to calm the mind, and reminds us of the spiritual principles we're trying to practice. And because of this, we are then able to respond more skillfully.